Hi everyone. I'd like to share a prophetic dream that I had last Friday. I had this dream on the 21st of January, 2022. Okay, so I don't know what the dream means, okay? Anyway, so here's the dream. Um The Statue of Liberty was in London up for sale. The lady selling it, she paid £35 for it. The Statue of Liberty had a torchlight at the very top of it, and it looked like a Victorian olden day type of object. It was a spiral metal. It was made of metal and it was spiral. Um, yeah. And the height, it was as tall as, I would say, one, two. I should have written this down. It was maybe 10 meter. I don't know, maybe 20 meters tall. It was. I mean, it was very tall. It was as tall as a building, but yeah, but I don't know how tall the Statue of Liberty is. I'm guessing Statue of Liberty is much taller in real life. So anyway, so a friend of mine started to climb into this object, and she was trying to make her way all the way up to the tip of it, and like I said, it was a fire, burning fire at the very top of this object. And then the scene changes, and and I'm now queuing to buy some fabrics, fabrics for making clothes, like a material for clothing. But I don't know if I was making clothes in the dream. I was just queuing to buy fabrics, and there were other people queuing with me as well. And actually, they were mainly, come to think of it, they were mainly women queuing to buy fabrics. And then there was a man standing there, and he was and also the reason why we were queuing was because there was a discount. It was like a discounted price, and then the line was spread out like 1 meter apart, as if we're in the middle of a lockdown. When when we had the lockdown and it was a 1 meter distance between people, it was like that. Now there was a lady behind me, but she was trying to take my spot. In other words, she wasn't maintaining her 1 meter distance. She was standing right beside me. And just then, all of a sudden, the room filled up, at the back of the room filled up with some youths, some young men, like they were like teenagers, like, I don't know, yeah, teenagers basically. And they had no shirts on. And they had their mobile phones, and it was like the light had gone down, and they all had their mobile phones on like this. And then there was what's it called, a siren sound. There was a sound outside, like if there was a national emergency, that kind of sound, so it wasn't like a police siren or fire siren or ambulance siren. It wasn't any of that, but it was more like this sort of siren sound that you hear in movies when there is an emergency, a national emergency. It was one of those. And so the man that was standing near where we were queuing, I believe he was maybe the manager or one of the supervisors of the shop or whatever. He started to make a joke, and he said, "Oh, there's a power cut," and he kind of said it like a joke, but he said, "Oh, there's a power cut," And then I go into a room within that same fabric shop. Somehow I found my way into a room inside somewhere. And while I was in that room, I saw that there's a television, and the television was on. So I looked at the TV, and what I saw was there was a picture on the TV. It was an image of a very, very beautiful mansion, and it was a white in color, as if like the White House, basically. This is what I've said here. I said, the image on TV is that of a beautiful white mansion like the White House, but more beautiful. And it had lovely water flowing from the front outlet. Yeah, because in the front of that building at the center front was like it was like a pipe outlet, like a hole, a big massive hole in the middle of it, and there was like a water coming from it, almost like a water fountain, except it wasn't a water fountain. It was more water coming out from that outlet. And the interesting thing was that the water was very, very crystal clear. And I've said here, the water was almost crystal-like in color. Very beautiful water. It was quite amazing. When you looked at it, it looked as if you had crystals flowing out rather than water. As you look at it, it looked like there were crystals flowing out, really. They were so crystal looking, you know, but I think it was water. And they were all around that house as well, that the mansion as well. And then I woke up, and that was the end of the dream. So I don't know what that dream means, like I said, you know. I'm hoping that the Lord will tell me what it means, and we'll see if I'll post this video or not, because I was asking the Lord, I said, maybe tell me while I'm making the video. I don't know. But I want to share it with you because I feel that that's what the Lord wants me to share in this video today. And I know that it's a prophetic word, and I know that it's a description of something that's going to happen. I know that because there were other events that had happened in the past, and when I dream them, it's very, I don't know, it has a feeling like similar to this dream I've just described. Almost difficult for me to make sense of it, but then when events start to happen, I remember the dream. I'm like, oh, that's the dream that I had, you know. So yeah, so I think so I'll leave it at that. This is a dream. If I get any interpretation, I will share it. In a way, I'm sharing it in obedience, really, you know, so that the Lord will see that I'm doing what He puts on my heart, you know, and I hope that He will give me an understanding of the dream. But I hope He will give somebody an understanding of the dream, and if He does, then please share it with the rest of us. I will say that the fact that the lady paid £35 for the Statue of Liberty reminds me of Isaiah 35. I will say that. And what did I say? I said she wanted to sell it. The lady selling it paid £35 for it. So she paid £35 for it, but actually she wants to sell it as well. And also the fact that it had Victorian, it looks very Victorian and very olden day scenario, you know. So that kind of reminds me of, you know, when there's no light, when power cut, that's what that kind of reminds me of. Because if you imagine that there's no electricity, it will kind of feel that we're back in the pre-industrial age, you know. So that's what that reminds me of. You know, the tip of it reminded me of a chimney, but except there was fire coming out from it, you know. So I mean, the tip of the Statue of Liberty in the dream, and then it was spiral, and I don't know why it was spiral, and it was made of metal as well. So that all reminds me of the pre-industrial age, you know, or the industrial age, you know, those olden day time. That's what that reminds me of. Now the other thing is, when those young teenagers, I was asking the Lord, what does that mean, you know? When they came in and they had their mobile phones, and they all had like they had their mobile phones all up like this, with things written on, with the screen of the mobile phone saying something. So it wasn't like blank screen, it was like the screen was all saying something, like you could read the text, except I couldn't read the text. Every single one of them had a screen, you know, the screen was saying something, had a text on them, not images but text, blue text. I remember that, but I don't know why they all had their phone up like this, almost like, I don't know, you know, maybe like somebody wanting to see, and then they put their phone up, but except they were not wanting to see because they had text. They were not flashing light, they were just, I don't know, it's very interesting. So I think wait with it and let's see what it means. All right, everyone. Yes, have a good evening, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.